Hello and welcome to the Paws Perspective podcast. I'm Molly.
And I'm Pat, and we're from Flying Paws Dog Training. We're so excited you're here.
This is where we share training tips, behaviour insights, and fun ways to build a stronger bond with your dog.
Grab a coffee, flip on the lead, and let's dive in. Welcome back to the Paws Perspective. I'm Pat.
And I'm Molly.
And what are we talking about today, Molly?
Desexing.
That's an interesting one.
It's a big topic.
It is.
We really want to start this off by saying we're not vets.
No.
We're not, and none of this replaces veterinary advice.
Definitely correct.
This is just our perspective with our dogs.
Yeah, a little bit of an overview.
And what we've seen through training. What the behaviour world knows about desexing, I suppose. So you can probably start. Once upon a time, when you had a puppy, what did you do?
Excuse me. Once upon a
You
time.
specifically.
Once upon a time, when you had a puppy, you got them desexed and you got them done quite young.
Yeah.
So I can't remember how old Dylan was, but Tanner, I know, was about 3 months old when he was done.
Which was circumstantial.
It was. We were going away for the weekend. We had a friend coming down to feed him and Riley. He was canines. A couple of those hadn't come out, and they were
causing a few problems.
Yeah, going a bit rotten and stuff. And so I ducked him off to the vet in between work and just to see what was going on. And he said, we need to whip them out. So I did them there and then. And he gave me a call and said, well, while he's under, shall we desex him? And I said, yep, okay, done.
And we should point out this is like 2007 or something in that sort of a vicinity. We're talking 20 odd years ago.
Yeah, and you did sort of get them done usually before 6 months, around that age.
I'm guessing Riley would have been 6 months or younger
when she was done.
But you also, again, to show how time has changed, you got them at 6 weeks old because that's what you did back then.
Yeah, got both of them at 6 weeks old, and they were desexed under 6 months of age. But yeah, just what you did.
Yep.
So you went along with what the vet said and what the general census was.
Yeah.
A little bit different with Sam, and for you a little bit different with Fox.
And I've probably had a different upbringing with dogs. The dog that I was, my family dog, I suppose, when I was born, so was the oldest child, so he was the child before me, my dad's child, and he was a golden retriever, and he was a show dog. He quite a good show dog and a stud dog. So he was never desexed. I didn't actually realise until not long ago when Dad and I were talking about it. I just assumed that, you did all that and then you got the desexed. But no, and this is going back, like he was born in 1985 or something like that, or maybe I think he was 10 years older than me. So, this is going way back. Our next golden retriever was a rescue, for lack of a better word. He was about 9 or 10 months old from memory. I was only little. I'm pretty sure he came desexed. Our Kelpie Collie Cross we had, she came from the dog's home, so she was desexed. She was a puppy. But our next two dogs were terriers. We had Franklin. He wasn't desexed. And then we had Dudley. He was desexed when Murphy got desexed. So Dudley was about 4 years older than Murphy. And Dad had obviously done a lot of showing and breeding and things like that, and he had grand plans to breed with Dudley. Dudley was a half show dog. His dad had papers and his mum was just a dog. So he was, what's the technical term? The stature of the dog, like a show, they'll say it's like it's conformation.
Yeah.
His conformation-wise and health and temperament-wise he would have been good to breed with, but we didn't do that. So when I got Murphy, went to the vet, and this is 2015. It was, let's get him desexed at 6 months. And I was just like, okay, because
you
I
do?
was young. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about what might be better, what might be worse, what options there might have been. So I just went home and said, I'm getting him desexed. And he also got, when he got desexed, his back dew claws came off because they were deformed. They weren't on there properly. So there was other reasons for doing it as well. He was going to be under. Let's just do a few things. And my dad decided to get Dudley done because we didn't want an entire male and a non-entire male, particularly when the entire male is 6 kilos and the non-entire male is 45 kilos. So we, just for the dynamics of the house. So they both got desexed. As you said, Fox is going to be, or has been different. I suppose it's fair to say we know a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe actually,
times have changed.
Yeah, before I talk about Fox, Zen sort of comes next chronologically, so let's talk about Zen.
Yep, so Zen came along and, as I've had other ones done, I sort of thought, well, I'm not going to breed with him, so get him done.
But you had papers where you could have bred with him, so,
He's got papers and that sort of thing. But I didn't think that I would do that, so I just presumed naturally that I'd get him done. And the previous experiences were earlier, so I sort of thought of that. And his breeder said to me, no, don't do that, wait till he's older. And I went, oh, okay, let's have a bit of a chat to the vet about that. They said the same thing. So now you look at leaving. Some vets will sort of say about 9 months. Obviously, all vets are different. Some say different things, but some say about 9 months. They said, oh, we'd be happy to do it sort of from 9 months onwards. So the breeder again, said wait a bit longer. So he was, I can't remember exactly, but he was over 12 months old.
Yeah, I feel like he might have been 13, 14 months in that vicinity. Yeah.
So that was being done then. And I think once upon a time, or probably maybe still, it was having problems, got them desexed because they were a cure-all. They were going to fix everything. But
or maybe not even a cure-all, but just it would help.
Which there's been a lot of things about that now. So yeah, Zan was sort of that bit longer before he got done. And then there's been more studies, more things. We know more things now. And Fox came along.
Yes.
And so what are you doing with Fox?
He is, would you believe on Monday he's 20 months?
Getting close to 2 years. 2 years old, isn't
when they're 2 years, maybe is this like come from babies? You stop calling them in months, like he'll just be 2.
Yeah.
It won't be like he's 26 months. Like that sounds so, doesn't it? But so that's crazy to start with. But yes, he's heading towards 2. And I will probably not get him desexed.
Why?
Because of a few reasons. And I should point out this has been in discussion with
your breeder
and my vet. So both of these are not just me saying I don't want to do it.
And maybe we should put in there a little caveat sort of thing that sometimes when you get a pup, the breeders do ask you to get them desexed.
Yes.
Sometimes they give you a time frame.
Yeah, sometimes it will be in a breeding contract.
Yeah.
I am not sure 100% why, but I didn't sign a contract. I think a lot of it was the conversation I had with the breeder was like, yeah, you're a dog trainer. I like you. I like, I've checked you out. And we just didn't feel the need to go down that path. But she definitely agrees with my reasonings, and the vets definitely agree with my reasonings.
What does she normally say? What time frame does she normally give other people if they're going to get them desexed?
Usually around 18 months. Girls, I think she might say younger. I can't actually, don't quote me on that because I don't have a girl.
Yeah.
I haven't asked her about her girls, but her boys, particularly the bigger ones like Fox. So Fox is 25, 26 kilos, and that's probably, he's probably settled. He's probably, if he gets any bigger than that, it's my fault. So he is on the bigger side for a male border collie. And she recommended if I wanted to, 18 months. She actually rang me up about something totally unrelated to Fox, a dog that she'd had brought back to her. And we were having a discussion, and I said to her, he would have been, oh my God, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 months. And I said to her, he's going for his vaccinations next week, and I want to let you know as a courtesy and a conversation that I'm going to have with you anyway. I'm leaning towards not getting him desexed. And she was totally fine. So the conversation I had with her, and I said I was going to talk to the vets, and then I'd tell her what the vets have said. So a lot of larger dogs, Fox is definitely not, he's a large border collie, but he's not a large dog, but a lot of them now would, when we're talking shepherds, Great Danes, Newfies, that sort of a bigger sized dog, but all dogs, they want them to settle into their physical growth and have their joints developed. And the hormones play such an important part in bone, joint, muscle health. Why it's more important to wait longer for the larger breeds is they don't get to their adult size for longer. A Chihuahua or a Maltese Shih Tzu will get to its adult size by 12 months. A Great Dane might still be developing at 2.5. So that's one really important reason. The other is that early desexing, now there are links between it and orthopedic issues. Predominantly cruciate ligaments. I have had our family dog go through 2 cruciate ligaments. We are very lucky that it was so easy, but it is not. Anyone who has gone through any cruciate ligaments will tell you it is not fun. He did both of them in the space of 2 weeks. His good one went first, which is often what happens if you've got 2 that are going to go. So we had 10 weeks of keeping a dog quiet and all the problems that come along with that. Vet bills, again, we've said, everything's not about money, but it's all of these things. One of the biggest things for me, and I suppose one of the biggest things for us being dog trainers, is it supports emotional and behavioural maturity. So hormones actually help with confidence. Once upon a time, like you said, and Zan was probably still in that category, I don't think anyone's going to say you desexed him wholly and solely for behavioural reasons. He had no significant behavioural problems.
No,
but
he was good. He was good. He was just high drive.
He was just high drive. But we got them desexed because of behavioural issues, which is usually classed more, I suppose, reactivity behaviours. Is that fair to say? The hormones are now linked to, especially testosterone, especially in boys, to confidence. And I think it's fair enough to say Turner and to a degree Murphy, we're not confident dogs.
No.
And I think we can both see where removing those hormones early have led to, I'm not going to say they were like not confident dogs, but where those hormones would have helped them.
Definitely.
It also helps with things like impulse control and resilience. Because everything's working how it should. It can, delaying or not desexing can lower risks of certain cancers. There has been a big study done, and you can Google it. I might even find the link, and I'll put it in the show notes if anyone's interested. And it does break down breed and gender of when desexing. So I think like borders are over 1. And that is all based on things like cancers and I think cruciates might be in there, but it was definitely mostly on cancers. The other thing, which I'm sure Pat's going to laugh at this, but their coat quality and muscle tone. Fox's coat has been so slow to come through.
Oh,
it is ridiculous.
But he's getting fluffy now.
He's getting fluffy.
Getting there.
Is it bad to say I don't want him to be as fluffy as his dad?
Oh, well, yeah. He's going to have a massive coat if he's like his dad, but he probably will. It's getting big.
It's getting thick. And So if we go back, I don't know how far back it was now, but earlier this year I did a Facebook post about Fox is not going to be desexed, or not at the moment. I'm choosing not to desex him. And a lady who we both know with a border collie commented and said she'd done the same thing. She chose to desex him later in life for other reasons, which are not ours to go into. But when I was talking to her, I sent her a few messages separately because she was also talking about using, which we'll probably touch on a bit later, other options. And she said when after the winter after he got desexed, his coat didn't come back the same. So those hormones are so important. This is not a Fox reason, but this is a reason, this is heading towards girls, and this is one you can probably talk more on, urinary control for girls. So you can talk about Riley.
Yeah, well, that can be a problem as well with it. So they can have a bit of trouble with doing little wheeze here and there.
When would you say it started for Riley? It was, I'm going to say later in life. I mean, she lived to 17, but she wasn't young. She wasn't a young dog, was she?
No, not when she started. Then Marina before her, she had the same thing.
Oh, that's right. I've forgotten that. I think it sounded like I was there. I forgot you told me that. Sorry.
So both the girls I've had have had a bit of problem. I think we probably controlled it a bit more with tablets and things like that with Riley.
Is it an assumption that I'm going to make, because obviously you didn't get Marina until she was older, that she was desexed when she came to you?
Yes.
And she would have been desexed young?
Yep, youngish again, because back in the day, that's what you did. So it's interesting, and I think we know a couple of other people's dogs that, again, probably got desexed fairly young, and they were girl dogs. And they have a bit of incontinence trouble as they get older.
But as you said, it now can be controlled with medication,
things like that.
And some girls will have this problem. It's like, and I was going to say it's like human, but it's also dogs that or females that will have pups can also have this problem. So it's not specifically linked to it's not a desexing problem. It's just a problem that can occur because of early desexing.
Yeah, so again, it's just one of those things you don't think of at the time. You just do the normal old thing, and then later in life, when they're having these problems, you sort of think, has this sort of contributed to those sorts of things? So I think as you go through and get, another dog, or you sort of think about more of these things. Should I get the straight away? And minds change.
Yes.
So everything, all the new technology that comes out, and that's we're moving now more towards leaving them for longer.
Yeah.
Which is
and it's important to mention that there are still reasons to desex early.
Oh, definitely.
And one big one, and we had a friend of mine who'd actually come through this year with 2 puppies, is accidental breeding.
Yes.
Especially, not that, we would say to do this anyway, but if you are a person that is going to get 2 puppies from the same litter, and you're going to get a boy and a girl, one of them something is going to need to happen, and that's an important conversation to have with your vet.
Unless you can manage it very, very well, and that's 24/7 management.
Because they don't know their brother and sister.
No, they just when it's time to go.
Or if you have dogs that might be older and not desexed, and you get a young one, again, we've seen instances of where that can go, and where management can go pear-shaped. Management is not a silver bullet. It's great, but it's not. Management can still fail. In boys, particularly adolescent boys, and this is where, touch wood, I think at nearly 20 months, I think it's fair enough to say this would have happened if it's going to happen. Roaming and marking. Actually, if I jump back a step, probably the biggest problem I've had with Fox, if we're going to talk about hormones, is marking. But in the big scheme of that being a problem, it wasn't a problem. It was manageable. And if anybody is having a problem with marking, move them on.
Yeah. And if you can do that right from the start, and a wee's a wee, a mark's just let's keep
I don't
moving.
think I will ever forget when Fox first marked it. We were walking in the main street in Ulverston, and he just all of a sudden was next to me and went dunk on the lead, and I looked back, and here he is weeing on a shop, and it was like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I moved him on, and then he did it again, and I went, okay. But I knew what I was looking at.
Yeah.
It can be really hard.
Oh, yeah.
And I should also mention, I think this is Murphy's fault, but he does also still do non-cocked leg wheeze.
Yeah, he does little puppy wheeze, doesn't he?
Yeah, because Murph being a big dog and Desex's quite young, he does cock his leg, but sometimes he can't be bothered, so he'll just stand there and he moves like his legs are offset, aren't they? Like he would be if he's going to cock his leg, but he lifts it like what do you reckon that is, about 2 centimeters off the ground? And I think Fox has seen that. But interestingly, when I have talked to my breeder, Fox's dad does the same thing. So it could just be a genetic thing because he is so much like his dad. It's quite scary. So, yeah, you do work out very quickly if you've got an intact male the difference between marking and weeing.
And you don't want to let them continue marking.
No.
Just need to keep them moving.
But I think one of the biggest things I have learned, and I've said to you because you've never had an intact male,
not
for a long time, is you do have to compromise.
Yeah.
So you do have to go, it's not acceptable to wee on a shop sign, but yeah, okay, we'll stop on this bush and you can have a sniff, and if you want to cock your leg, you can cock your leg. It's going, we're not going to wee on every single bush you come across, but you can do it. And by doing that, the only place Fox has struggled is at another trainer's.
Yep.
And I think that was just an overload of smells.
Yeah.
And she does have an intact female that possibly, I don't think he's ever smelled an intact female before, so that could have played a part in it. But he can be in our shed.
Yeah,
and I think he has marked once in there over the top of an intact male that weed on a chair. I remember he went up to that chair and cocked his leg, and that was the only time he's done it in 18 months. No. So moving them on does work. Anyway, we'll get off our marking tangent. It is, which is, I think, a lot of vets will say, young dogs will bounce back from surgery quicker. Personally, I don't think that's a good enough reason to get it done, but this is where it's up to you and your vet, your breeder, if your breeder's in the conversation.
And knowing your dog.
Yeah. The other thing, I suppose, is it's not a guarantee, it can reduce, can't it, some hormone-driven behaviours.
Yep.
However, things like mounting, roaming, marking may have other behavioural or medical issues causing them. Mounting can simply just be overexcitement. And your dog is proof of that.
Yeah, my dog.
Not as much as he used to. And we should point out the day he did it to Fox, Fox was mortified.
If I do some training with him.
When he gets overstimulated.
And he gets overexcited with doing some training.
Yeah.
And that's usually only at home in the house.
Yeah.
And he might just
But
have a bit excited.
In the house, in your house, in your lounge room, where Zan did it, and he'd been running around.
Yeah, he was quite got quite excited.
Fox went over Zan.
It's a bit weird.
Probably, actually, the other thing we'll touch on quickly before you, because we will wrap this one up, is do we call it a myth? I don't know, because I've never really. I suppose it's fair enough to say I haven't experienced it, but there is, people do talk about intact male aggression.
Yeah.
Or an intact male with a desexed male aggression. For me, I think it comes back to temperament.
Yeah.
And I think it comes back to genetics and rather than just hormones. However, I will say that I'm not going to say that's 100% of the time.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Temperament plays a big part. I mean,
I mean,
other
obviously,
things too could be.
Fox is around Zen and Murph all the time,
Yeah.
and we've never ever had an aggression issue.
No.
He's off
I
the
think
top.
I think just our three are pretty. They're all quite
Respectful.
yes of each other and each other's space.
Mm.
Well, sometimes your dogs are respectful of Zen space, but sometimes not. But
I think they think they're being respectful.
As
They
they
just can't work
right,
out that he
yes.
doesn't like it. He's not touchy feely.
But they're all if any any little bit happens, they're like, yep, okay, I'll just move away. So I think we're quite lucky with all of them, and probably Riley and Tanner included in that, although Riley was probably just, everyone else is probably under control because of Riley.
It was Riley's world.
Yeah, but they all do, respect each other. So I think we've got intact males, non-intact males, but I think we're also lucky that they're all quite respectful.
Yeah.
And they're not just respectful of each other. We've had them with other dogs.
Yeah.
And we've had them off lead in places with other dogs for various situations, for various reasons. And again, they have been quite respectful.
Yeah, well, the instance I know you're thinking of, they both, before I suppose we stepped in and removed them, had a desexed male, pushing them around.
Yeah.
And neither of them did anything. They were both a bit like, why are you being the fun police? But it does come back to temperament and personality. And, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 intact males that Fox will interact with. One he had, which is a dog from the same breeder he's met once.
Yep.
No problem.
No, not each other.
One he's met a few times, and when we went to the kennel club, they rolled around on the floor like puppies together. Yeah, and one that he doesn't see all that often when he comes to school, but he said hello to, and again, no problems. So that's, yeah. The other thing, I suppose, and again, this is definitely not our area of expertise because neither of us have had an intact girl, but girls are a slightly different kettle of fish.
Yes.
As human girls are a slightly different kettle of fish. You do have to be prepared to deal with heat.
Yeah.
You do have to be prepared if you do not want puppies.
Yes, you have
to have a safe place, whether that's for dogs in your house, whether that's for dogs that might
jump the fence.
And male dogs will scale fences. They will, they turn into, fairly full-on creatures.
Yeah.
Which is why they get tagged for roaming.
Yes.
Again, that's not something I've seen with Fox, but I think I don't know 100% what he would do if he could smell an intact female. I'm not sure what he would do. To be honest, I would say like that's a bit scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about.
But you also have to be prepared to deal with female humans moods.
Yeah.
And when they finish bleeding, they're not done. All these sorts of there's a lot.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to have nappies, whether you're not going to have nappies.
I guess they have nappies now, which can be a.
Yeah. I'm not going to get graphic, but I'm not sure what I would do with an intact female. But things you can do. You can now choose vasectomies rather than desexing, and I suppose it's not a hysterectomy for a girl. I suppose that's what they get, like tube tying in a girl, whatever the term for that is. We're not vets, or anything like that. And you can get injections, which I have looked into for Fox, and I'm sitting on the fence about what to do with that.
And some of those they go for 6 months or a year.
Yeah,
Two options for those.
And I suppose it's a way, and it's probably going to be one of these things again. It's going to either become more normal or it's going to be more specialised. But really, what its design was for is a male or female contraceptive for breeders that don't want to breed with that male.
Yeah.
Say. So you put it on it for 6 months and know that there's not going to be
an accident.
Yeah. You can also use it. Some people will use it to see what the dog will be like pre-desexing.
Yeah.
And
change it all.
Yeah, from my understanding, all it does is work like a hormone blocker.
Yeah.
So those hormones can't get released. When I spoke to my vet about it, the vet nurse did tell me they had someone on a 12-month one. They had a brother and a sister from litter mate. They gave it to the male because they weren't ready to desect either of them. 11 months and 3 weeks after his needle, they found out the girl was pregnant. So and then obviously they had to deal with that, which isn't very nice. So it's not. It's
exactly
going to
12 months.
It may not exactly be 12 months. It's got so it's like everything. Their bodies are going to deal with it differently. So they're conversations though to have with your vet if you are looking for other options.
Yeah, definitely bring it up. Have a chat with your vet.
Yeah,
they're the people that know.
Yeah.
So they're good ones to talk to about those sort of situations, sort of things. But something interesting to think about.
Yeah, and something to wrap it up with, I suppose, is that those hormones are there for a reason.
Yeah,
they are important. The dogs they're not just for procreation. I think for a long time, the whole dog industry as a whole has thought of it as their sex hormones. They are not just sex hormones. They do so much else in their body.
Just like our hormones.
Yeah. So it's not as black and white, I suppose, as it once was. Yeah.
No, it's not. So a good one to have a chat with your vets if you've got a pup or a young dog or an intact female or male. Get their advice, see what they think. Work out where you're going to go from there.
Yeah, and probably again just to finish it off by saying we are not anti anything to do with desexing. I'm going to say you agree with me in that we do believe that most dogs should be desexed.
Yeah.
Or be some form not able to procreate, because obviously the other big issue that we haven't even discussed is unwanted litters.
Many of those around now, so we don't need more. So there is management if you are the dog intact.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just something to have a bit of chat about.
Yeah, and I suppose finalising everything, it's not the be all and end all it once was.
No, that's exactly right. We'll wrap it up there.
Yep.
So don't forget to follow us.
And leave us a 5-star review if you enjoyed the episode.
And we'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Bye.